Hey there, this is Steve. I suppose I should say Lauren. What am I doing? I guess I wanted to sit down and try to make a recording of myself talking. I have kind of a big day coming up in a couple days. I'm going to go meet with a couple doctors to talk about hormone replacement therapy. And yeah, I'm just kind of like nervous about it, I guess. It's a big deal. It's a big decision. And I've been thinking about it for like a really long time, several months. This appointment was set back in beginning of December, so it was just over, or maybe end of November, something like that. So it's been a couple months. I've been keeping a journal. I've been seeing a therapist. I've been doing a lot of research. I've done some different experiments. There's been a couple days where I call them like cis days, where I basically I try to just like not care about my appearance really, and I just like, it's like, t-shirt and sweatpants basically, or something to that effect, and like not really any makeup or anything like that. So I'm actually not doing that today. I've got on like an outfit sort of, and I did my face and hair a little bit, so I had eyeshadow on and pants and everything, but yeah, I sort of fluctuate. There's different degrees of sort of femininity that I experience over time. So yeah, it definitely does fluctuate, my desire or whatever for pursuing it. I've been keeping it like a numerical log of like how confident I am that hormone therapy is the right path for me. And with 10 being like absolutely sure, 100%, let's go, and 0 is like, this is a huge mistake, this is not for me, and 5 being like absolutely perfectly undecided. Most of the time it's been like 7, 8, 9 range. That's what it seems like it's been. There were a couple days recently, a couple days ago, where I think I had a moment actually where it went below 5 for the first time. It was like I felt like a 4 maybe, like I was kind of leaning against it, and then yeah, I've had some. It kind of coincided with some difficult conversations that I've had with Kirsten recently, so that's been a stressor. That actually is probably the main sort of thing now that I talk about it. Main thing being the other stressors. I don't think it's a good idea to start taking hormones if Kirsten and I are in the midst of some kind of like breakup or separation or something, something really crazy like that, or even just really intense stuff, like if we were having a really, really intense period. So I don't know, the last couple of days have actually felt a lot better, surprisingly, so I'm not too sure. I would probably want to sit down with her if I decide that this is what I think I want to do. Then I would probably need to sit down with her and tell her that, like, I need a couple. This is going to be really intense. It could last a long time. I imagine initially there would probably be the most intense sort of moodiness and emotions and stuff like that. So yeah, it could need to be postponed or deferred just for that reason alone. And then I have a potential job change coming up in April, which doesn't really factor into it, to be honest, in terms of like feeling what's right for me. I would say that the two sort of biggest concerns I have about transitioning are, number one, feeling like I probably am not feminine enough or something to like be able to pull it off, like both in mannerisms and in physiological structure, in terms of like my bones and like my face, and like I kind of have like a big nose, and I've got a little bit of some brow ridge and stuff like that, and of course my shoulders and things. Most of my stuff isn't like super extremely proportioned, and I'm really not trying to go for high femme anyway. I really feel more like an androgynous person, or it's really just the secondary sex characteristics that I'm interested. It's like the skin and the body fat and stuff like that. I don't really want to be attractive to men, to be honest. In other words, I'm not going to be wearing like high heels and like tight clothes and stuff like that. I'll be probably dressing like a 45-year-old middle-aged woman, So, because that's just kind of what my gender identity is like a more, basically like a androgynous or masculine lesbian, or bisexual woman or something like that, but definitely more towards the middle. So I have a little bit more confidence because I feel like I am actually kind of close to that right now sometimes. So I do think it's something that I might be able to pull off, in terms of like achieving like a goal. So I am worried about not being able to transition. I do still wonder sometimes if I'm even, if I need to be this feminine, if I need to have the hormones, like if it's something that I need to like function better. I guess though, finally, like there's just no way to know without trying it. I mean, honestly, everything I've read about it, and both in terms of like the clinical stuff that I've read and in terms of personal experiences that people have had with it, all the effects seem like things that would be really good for me, basically. Like I might be better in terms of just mental health, potentially. I don't know. It's hard to say. But like, being able to cry, I mean, some people complain about that, and it's like, I have a really hard time crying. It sucks. It's just stuff like that, like on face value, I'm like that would really be an improvement. Because it's hard to get emotions out sometimes, and crying is definitely like a cathartic act. So anyway, I really just wanted to sit down and try to capture some thinking, I guess. Maybe it's a little easier for me to do than writing stuff down on the journal. Okay, so I'm going to stop for now.